took the last couple weeks to binge The Boys, and I'm now a changed man. After that roller coaster of blood, guts, and octopi, I'm here to rank all 3 seasons from worst to best. None of the seasons are bad in my opinion, but there's definitely a quality discrepancy between them. So let's jump into it with number 3. Number 3, Season 2. Season 2 likely has the best finale of all of the seasons. It generally is a great payoff in the last couple episodes, but the writing before that feels inconsistent and less intelligent overall. The boys are locked in a basement for so much of the first half of the season, sucking tension out of the story. Characters are delved into much deeper this season, but the execution is inconsistent in quality. Homelander is the best part of the show by a mile and a half to me, but in this season he is significantly nerfed. He's nerfed to the point where I'm not scared of what he might do when he's on screen. He's constantly manipulated by others and feels like a weaker shell of his former self. Season 1 turned me into a pseudo-Homelander fan, and seeing Stormfront and others walk all over him while he sulks around, it just started to drive me insane over time. Stormfront feels like an inconsistently written character as well, going from millennial social justice warrior to century-old Nazi in the blink of an eye. I suppose this is an intentional twist, but it is more jarring than enjoyable. Homelander instantly bows to her, understandably so in some ways due to the death of Stillwell, but as he is my favorite character and Stormfront is my least, their relationship just didn't provide intrigue in the same way Homelander and Stillwell did. They were just a far superior dynamic. Sometimes things don't play out the way that you know they would in real life. Homelander is beloved by most people after season 1, so Stormfront thinks the response to this should be committing hardcore into a racist right-wing agenda. And then when she does, there's no severe backlash. There's no prominent hashtag campaigns, there's no protesting. The show could have talked about how all you need is a small contingent of wildly devoted fans to become a dangerously powerful person. Instead, the extreme propaganda just makes everyone love them. Where's the counter-protesting? It feels like the message took precedence over character and world building at times in this season. This is a Butcher season through and through, while 1 and 3 are more Homelander focused. I do love Butcher, but while Butcher is a great presence on the show, Homelander is a transcendent one. With that said, the way their stories intertwine in the end is some of the most powerful content The Boys has to offer. There are a lot of interesting themes brought up, particularly concerning nature versus nurture and familial cycles of violence. That is a consistent theme throughout all of the seasons, but I think it's executed really well here with Butcher and his father. There are some more subtle moments that really stand out, and I like that there are moments where Becca is wrong and Homelander is right. You can't raise Ryan in a completely isolated house lab, and it makes for more thought-provoking conflict when the characters are layered like this. It reminds me more of something like Game of Thrones, where it's a lot of gray area. Head popping is a terrifying prospect, and seeing the Soup sit there helplessly at the trial was genuinely frightening. While I did harp on what I don't like this season, there is a baseline quality here in all of the action, gore, set pieces, twists, and generally witty dialogue. MM remains a standout, and Starlight actually stepped up quite a bit this season. In season 1, I didn't really care that much for Huey or Starlight, but in this season, I started to really care about both of them and their relationship. I think the character work here is really strong on key characters, but my weaknesses still stand. Now, before I give you my top 2, be sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the video. I really want to get to that 1,000 marker so that I can actually get this channel monetized. So if you guys can help me out, that would be super appreciated. Number 2, this one was a hard one to decide, but I ended up going with season 1. There's so much to discover about this world for the first time. Every new piece of information we get has a hint of novelty because we've never seen any of it before. It's a smaller scale, which provides fun scenarios, such as how to kill Translucent. But I wish they built out the mythology of the world just a little bit more. So Soups have been around for like decades or something at this point. I just don't know why, if they've been around for decades, this world hasn't been built around them a little bit more. I think they could have played this for a lot of comedic value, but also just general world building and complexity. Overall though, I think the comedy is the strongest in this season of all of the seasons, such as the Deep's dolphin scene, or even something as simple as Noir playing the piano. Less characters feel wasted here. They pretty much all have time to shine and do things that really seem true to themselves. I love how Starlight and Huey both have completely different storylines, so we get to see somebody getting screwed by the system from both ends. Although, again, like I said, I don't really love their relationship this season. We get to learn about this world the same time our characters do, which makes it kind of feel like a screwed up version of year 1 of Harry Potter or something. I love the discovery that we go through at the same time as they do. Homelander, though, is by far the standout of the season. Every time this guy's on screen, you are wondering who he is, why he's doing what he is, and what the heck he's going to do next. And none of it is good. It's the most consistent season, with the one exception being the absolutely terrible episode Good for the Soul, in which we take an hour-long detour to unintelligently moralize about Christians. The episode felt ironically preachy, without making interesting points, although Butcher's confrontation with the religious man was undeniably hilarious. To me, it seemed like they just had budget issues and forced this bottle episode in a place that was just totally uninteresting. Other than that, though, it's extremely consistent, irreverent, hilarious, character accurate, and a complete and total roller coaster of a season. While my favorite show is Better Call Saul, this is the polar opposite. It's fast-paced, plot-focused, and over-the-top in every way. But why do I like this season so much, and the show generally? Well, it approaches this material with as much fun, bombast, and gore to make it a roller coaster I just never want to get off of. And it's not stupid. It can be at times, but also provides genuinely interesting commentary from time to time. As for other standouts of the season, Stillwell genuinely carried the show at times, and it's too bad we had to let go of her so soon. When I saw the first couple of episodes, I thought the show was going to be mostly silly, over the top, but a lot of gruesome fun. But by the end of the season, I was impressed. The switch might have been flipped during the plane scene, where I realized the show was aiming for something more than I originally realized. But number one is going to have to be Season 3. It might not be as consistently good as Season 1, but it certainly has the highest highs. Homelander is no longer nerfed, and in fact is even buffed from his bravado of Season 1. He doesn't just talk big game, he goes crazy this season, and I'm genuinely terrified for the lives of our characters every time he's on the screen again. Soldier Boy is a much more compelling villain to me than Stormfront, and his power-sucking abilities adds a horrifying permanence to every one of his conflicts. The season starts strong and ends strong, with the only lull being between 303 and 305. Once Herogasm hits, though, it's borderline perfection. The confrontation lives up to the hype here, while some of the suit battles in Season 1 could be a little lackluster. Some writing feels a little uneven, as characters seem to do what serves the story more than what seems true to their nature. Consequences are not always final, as Maeve's final sacrifice is instantly and unnecessarily reverted. Black Noir, as one of my favorite characters, gets completely shafted. I was loving everything to do with his backstory, perhaps as much as anything in the entire show, and then Homelander kills him practically instantly. I guess to build up Homelander as a villain, but we already knew that. At least give us some payoff with Black Noir first. So as much as I have some gripes though, this season also has some of the most intelligent dialogue, most irreverent humor and gore, and the most well-executed action and drama. If you can look past some of the minor flaws that aren't nearly as severe as Season 2's flaws, you will find an amazing season. There are so many build-ups and payoffs, and we get fleshed out backstories for so many of our characters. And the way they explore these backstories are so creative visually, like Butcher with the nightmares and Black Noir with his cartoons. Even characters like A-Train, who historically have been completely forgettable to me, start to really have moments to shine. I enjoy Kimiko and Frenchie and their relationship and similarities between their backstories. MM has and continues to be a standout as a character that I just can purely root for every time he's on the screen. I haven't mentioned Butcher that much, but almost every time he's on screen this season, they're trying to make you hate him. And it works for a time. I kind of did hate him. But I do love Butcher generally and his quick, witty dialogue. I enjoy his temptation to essentially pure evil, and the uncertainty of who he will be in the future is something that keeps the show moving forward from season to season. And the iconic Homelander going insane scenes from this season solidified it as a top dog for me, and I can't wait to see where they go from here. But that's just my thoughts. What do you guys think? Let me know down below how you'd rank the seasons, and subscribe for more TV and movie content. I'll be releasing a top 10 episodes of The Boys video soon, so be on the lookout for that. Peace.